everyone, my name is Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Stampin' Up! Just introduced a couple of limited edition items for Celebration 2016. These are available March 16th through March 31st, and this is the card I created with the Pedal Pushers stamp set. I think it'd be a great anniversary card or just a I love you card. And when you open it up, it's got a couple of little butterflies that coordinate with the designer series paper I used on the outside, as well as a sentiment. And the sentiment is from Watercolor Wings. This is that stamp set. I know many of you have this, but if you don't, it's kind of one of those more expensive stamp sets that you could use towards a celebration purchase. When you purchase $50, you'd get to pick a celebration item, and perhaps you would want the Pedal Pusher stamp set. This is the Pedal Pusher stamp set, and it's just really darling. It's got a little basket that you can attach to the bicycle, and there's different things you can put in there. Things for a picnic or flowers or hearts. It's a couple of little birdies, and I really like this. It says, "I'm here for you. Let me pedal for a while." And that's just really, really sweet when you're thinking of someone going through a hard time. So let's go ahead and get started creating this card. This is the celebration brochure. So I have a link at my blog that you can click on to see this entire brochure. And I'm also putting it in any orders. If anyone orders anything from me between now and March 31st, I'll throw it in an order for you. So let's go ahead and get started making this card. The first thing I have is our 100-pound weight thick Whisper White paper. This is cut at 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and then I've scored it at 5 1/2. Now I really love using this sturdy paper when I'm looking for kind of a standalone white card. I'm going to grab my bone folder and just give that a little bit of a press here on the back side so that it will lie flat for us while we work with it. The next panel is just a panel of regular Whisper White paper. It's a little bit thinner, but it's great for stamping on. And this is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. We're going to do a couple of things with this first. We have a couple of strips of designer series paper that we're putting onto this paper. These strips are 1/2 inches by 5 inches and 3/4 inches by 5 inches. So I'm just going to take a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue, and we are going to set this right onto the bottom part of this panel. This is the 3/4 inch strip, and then the 1/2 inch strip we're going to put along the top of this panel. So again, just a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue, and then we'll set this up here. And I like using the multi-purpose liquid glue because I've got just a little bit of wiggle room. And this paper, in case you're wondering what this is our Regal's Designer Series 12 by 12 paper stack. And so it comes with all 10 different colors of the Regal set, and then you get 2 of each 12 by 12 design that's in this paper pack. And now we're going to do some stamping. So this is a photopolymer set, so I'm going to stamp with my Stampin' mat. That helps me get a little bit better of an image. And I have the bicycle already on a block. This is a block H. And we're going to use some Memento black ink. And we'll just ink that bike up. And the reason I like the Memento black with photopolymer is because it does not permanently stain the stamps. So we're just going to put that bike right here at the bottom of this panel, right above the designer series paper. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the basket onto the bike. So again, I'm going to use the Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I've just inked up that bike basket, and we'll set it right here. One of the nice things about photopolymer stamps is you can see through them right where you need to in order to get that perfect stamp. This is the rose red ink, and that's in our Regals family. That's why it matches so perfectly with the rose red designer series paper. I'm going to stamp the hearts coming out of the basket. So they're just floating out of the basket. I love that look. I think that is so cute. It gives a feeling of motion, that the bike is moving along and the hearts are just flying off behind. And then of course we have the sentiment on the outside panel. This is Happy Together, so we're just going to stamp that right here in the upper left. And the front panel is almost done. One more thing that we're going to do is, rather than having this bike kind of floating up here, we're going to ground it. We're going to give it a little road to pedal on. And so what I'm doing for that is I'm going to take some black baker's twine and I'm going to secure that with a little bit of Scotch tape here on the back side. And then we're going to wrap that about 3 times around this card, and that should be enough to kind of put those wheels onto a path so they're not just floating off in midair. So then we can go ahead and take our Scotch tape, and that is done. I'll snip this off here. And doesn't that look better? And it adds a nice little bit of interest to this card too. The next step is to just go ahead and we're going to secure this panel onto the front panel of our card. And so I've gone ahead, I've added 5 dimensionals to the back, and I've already taken the little peelies off, exposing the adhesive. So we'll just go ahead, we'll center this onto the front panel of our card, and then we'll do just a little bit of stamping yet on the inside of our card. So again, we're going to use that sentiment that comes from the stamp set called Watercolor Wings, and we'll just set this right here. And again, we used rose red ink. And then I took my punch that's called Bitty Butterfly, and I punched out a couple of little butterflies that coordinate with the Designer Series paper on the front side so that we can carry that theme through into the inside panel as well. And our card is complete. So here is the front. Here is the inside. I truly hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Here's the card I just made for you. Here's the card I made in advance, and it was so fun to share this with you. I hope you, if you need a demonstrator, I hope you'll visit my blog at www.stampingtoshare.com. I take very good care of my customers, and there is a link there where you can sign up for my weekly emails as well. Have a great day. I truly appreciate you. Bye-bye.